Hello everyone. Today we'll be learning how to deploy units on different slots, and we'll also add some winning and losing conditions to the game. So first let's talk about the layout of the interface. We'll have a section at the top for players to select what units to deploy and some other game information, and under that, with the remaining space, we'll be able to deploy units. So if we take a look at the resources that I've added, you see these new arrows for the slot indicator, and there's kind of a background for where we select what type of unit to deploy. We'll work on this later, but for now I'm just going to add it just so we get an idea of how much space that takes up. So let's quickly do that. We will need one for the player, and we'll have one in the middle and then one on the right as well, so 3 across the screen. Okay, let's give it a quick run just to see what it looks like. There we go. So this side is going to be for the player's units. In the middle is going to be for the general leading the army, and then you'll be able to activate special attacks. And on the right, that's going to be for the enemy. So we have some space left down here, and the height of our sprites for the units is about 60 or a little bit less. So I think we can fit approximately 8 slots. That's what I use anyway. So let's plan for that. So first we'll come up here. We'll define something called player select slot. It'd be 0 by default. And then we'll have one for the enemy as well, but we probably won't use it this time. Alright, so once we have this, let's also add something for the slot indicator. I will put it at 30, and then depending on what the selected slot is, do times 60 and then plus 160. That should be where it starts roughly. And the file name, I can type this right. Alright, so if we run this now, we should be able to see a yellow arrow near the top. Yep, this is slot 1. So right now we can't really do anything, so let's add some logic to move the slot up and down. We're going to go to events. Alright, here, if the player presses up, then we'll call a function to change the slot. And if they press up, we're essentially using an earlier slot, so I'll pass in a -1 here to indicate the direction, and otherwise if they press down, it will increase the slot number. Okay, so let's define that right now. Change slot is going to take a parameter, I'll call it delta, and essentially what we're going to do is player selected slot plus equals delta. And we'll just have to check that, for example, if the player is already on the first slot and they press up, technically they should jump to the bottom. If they have the last slot right now, they press down, they should jump up to the top. So if this, let's see, we have 8 total, so we'll want to say if it's greater than or equal to 8, which is the 9th one, then reset it back to the top. Otherwise, if it's less than 0, we'll make it into the last slot, which will be the 8th one, which is index 7. Okay, let's see. And then after we do this, we'll want to once again set the X and Y of our slot indicator. So let's come here and say slide indicator dot rect dot x and slide indicator rect dot y is equal to that. Okay, so we run it. Press up and down. Okay, I'm pressing down, goes down, and then once I'm here, if I press down again, it should jump up to the top. Okay, if I press up now, it should jump back down to the bottom. There we go. We press A to deploy, and you'll notice that it's still deploying in the middle. That's because we need to change the logic for our unit sprites. So let's see, if we go to the deploy unit, here we have a fixed value or a fixed height of the middle of the screen. So let's want to change that to player selected slot, and we'll say that's gonna be times 60 plus okay, so the arrow is smaller in height, so for the actual units we'll probably want to push it down by like 20 pixels. So that's what I'm doing here. So let's try again. There we go. So now whenever I deploy a unit, it comes out from the slot that I've highlighted over. Alright. Now we just need something more exciting to maybe have a game winning or losing condition. So I use the morale system. Essentially, whenever a unit walks to the enemy zone, it will deal certain damage to the enemy's morale. So let's call this player morale. Let's start with a default value of 100, and same for the enemy. Now we'll just need to go over to our update method for our units real quick. And we're going to add some logic. So here, when they walk over to the end of the screen, we had said, okay, just kill the unit. But now what we're going to do is we will say, so this is the player's units. So you're going to deal damage to the enemy's morale. Let's just do, let's base it on how much health this unit currently has. So if it runs into the enemy zone with full health, it'll do more damage. Let's just divide it by 10 for now. Integer division, so it'll round down. And over here, we're just going to do the same thing, but if an enemy walks over here, that's player morale that's going to get docked. Alright, so go back to the battle, and we'll need to check something here as well. Let's see. In our update, yeah, we'll want to check to see if we lost. Okay, it lagged there for a second. Okay, so player morale is less than or equal to 0. I'll go ahead and set it to 0 for now, and then we'll need to build an end screen. But for now, I'm just going to print you lost and then quit the game. So. Okay, let's just use this for now. So let's give it a test. If we spam these units over, it shouldn't take that long to win the game. Okay, good. It says you won. Sweet. So we're good for now. In the next part, we'll work on a better end screen and probably work on some logic for the enemy to automatically deploy units, and then we can actually have a battle. And that's it. See you next time.